Long GG is bringing Rattlesnake, Bargus, Scorpion, Navy issue. Or double Rattlesnake and a Scorpion Navy issue. No Bargus there. So you can't really weapon disrupt drones. Like, you could try and web them down here, but there's not really, you can weapon disrupt the missiles on them, but it's a little bit weird. I'm kind of interested to see how this plays out.
I think are those cruisers on the Scorpion Navy issue?
They are. Well, I'm pretty sure cruisers and torpedoes are very similar looking.
I know, it's awful.
But I'm guessing they're not Torp Rattlesnakes, just because they warped in at 50. Both teams did warp in at 50. They are perpendicular warps to each other, so they're actually a lot closer than you would normally think with both of them warping in at 50. They basically formed a triangle off of the center of the arena.
All right, the countdown has started now. So what would kind of be your priority if you were one of these teams? What are the ships to watch here? Who are you shooting at first? Who are you trying to clear off the grid?
So I think that when you are up against Bargus setups, you have to kill the Hyena, but because they brought Rattlesnakes and Navy Scorpions, they have the ability to maybe punch through one of those Bargus, because Bargus are not, they have a lot of buffer HP, but they're not actually particularly tanky. So this is basically, can the 3 Bargus destroy something with their rapid heavies before they lose a Bargus, if they go after the Bargus, which is, again, that's what I would do, but not the greatest target caller ever.
Yeah, well, let's see if they heed your advice. We have Paints immediately on the Hyena of Long GG, the captain for that team as well. But the Stork is actually the one taking the DPS here, going into low shields almost immediately. Give me a question of what those teams do.
Dawson's Bargus, he's taking huge damage. Oh, they're actually just dunking through a Sentinel right now. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, this is what they're splitting damage, but it's working pretty well. I think they must have just gotten a couple of lucky shots off.
Well, and here's my question. If you have 2 Sentinels, where aren't their guidance disruptors out? But Eden Observatory does snipe the Hyena, which is very, very important if you ever want to go after smaller ships. I need to look and see if maybe it's the UI bugging or if the Sentinels are just not using guidance disruptors right now.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what's happening here, because that Bargus does look like he's starting to tank a little bit, regaining just a little bit of EHP here. But what are these Sentinels doing? Are they full Newt Sentinels?
They've got to be, I don't know, because it is their shield Sentinels, so it's not like they can use as many mid slots, but they're not doing anything. I'm zoomed in on one right now, and I don't see any E-War coming out from it, so I think they brought them, but if they had brought maybe even one guidance disruptor on them, it'd be kind of good, because that Bargus is taking a lot of damage. You need to remember most Bargus are XL ASB fit, so it's entirely possible that the only reason why he's holding right now is because he's pumping his XL ASB.
Yeah, they're curling around a little bit around the edge of the arena though, right now, trying to figure out what they're doing here. It looks like their movements are being matched here in the center of the arena by the Scorpion Navy issue. Oh, the Sentinel of Yomi, out of nowhere, absolutely deleted.
He did just get taken down. Their Eden Observatory is actually killing drones right now, by the way. They're going after the Praetors and trying to sort of help keep that Bargus alive. It's a little hard to tell because they're also doing a lot of damage to King Muff and the Rattlesnake, but the Bargus are on the Rattlesnake of Long GG. These small ships are killing the drones, trying to reduce the damage out, and they're actually punching through that Rattlesnake, which is kind of surprising. They might hit reload before they can kill him, though.
Yeah, that's the question. Can they get through that Rattlesnake before they go into reload? Because if they don't, they give it a second chance.
Yeah, he is surviving. I don't know if they have all their reps on him, actually. Because
yeah, that Kieran's
is repping. Yeah.
That Kieran seem like they're kind of far off as well. They need to be really snuggling in and getting in that 10 km range for the optimal reps here. Oh, it's going to be close, but I think they are going to kill him.
Yeah, the Kierans are now right on top of him, but...
Oh, Gemma suddenly taking a chunk of damage here as well as the Hyena. What's going on there? It looks like they just walked into tackle.
Yeah, they just blew up the Hyena, and actually, King Myth, they've got to be on reload because he's starting to gain back. They kept him alive in 12% structure, and he is slowly regaining right now.
That guy is clenching for Jesus right now.
Golem survived by that much yesterday as well.
The cipher down. Sentinel. Gemma now going into Hull. The tables have turned here.
Well, and that Bargus is actually webbed down and not able to move. So he's taking damage very, very quickly here. Gemma's going to drop, and one of the things is those Bargus were actually kiting out the heavy drones really, really well there. So now that they've basically rammed in and tackled that Bargus, we see the heavy drones finally catch up and apply, and he just kind of melts. The reload has been done, and so King Myth is starting to take damage again. He's in 9% shield right now, barely holding on. So, but I don't know if two Bargus are going to be able to break him with. They just lost a third of their DPS.
I think it's going to be a question of if they were able to use to rep their heat properly during that reload.
It's entirely possible that that's going to do it. And this Bargus is actually catching now. Both of the Kirans are just doing as much as they can, or not the Bargus, the Rattlesnake. And he's gaining shield, even though he's being shot by two Bargus, which is never a good thing.
Looks like they're switching off him, though. They're trying to clear the support here. We saw Tackle go all over those Raptors earlier, and it didn't really amount to anything other than a couple of Sentinels dying for their efforts.
Yeah, and Nanshan is actually dropping really fast now, too. And now that those little Tackle wings are in there, like I said, the Bargus were actually kiting all of the heavy drones really, really well here. But as soon as they started getting tackled, now they're just dropping quite quickly to heavy drones, and they are Tech 1 drones, so they're very slow, but once they get on the target, they're still Rattlesnake heavy drones. They do tons of damage, and that is another Bargus dropping down.
Wow. Kingslayer being King Slain here.
Yeah, and I think New Eden Observatory has realized that maybe they should have been clearing tackle, but it is probably too late because one Bargus is going to have a lot of trouble. Somebody said, oh yeah, Bargus kill frigates. Well, they do, but not very quickly if you don't have your Hyena up still. And the other Bargus is now taking a lot of damage, and he is also tackled by Raptors, so I guess Interceptors are valid AT ships.
They're coming into their own in this tournament. We have seen quite a few teams use them. We saw the Crusader even make an appearance, which is not a scene
damage on that. They're destroying this Bargus. He's shield boosting up about 10% and then just immediately drops down. So, yeah, Cruise Rattlesnakes, guys. That's 2 games in a row now that the Cruise Rattlesnake has been the kingpin ship and won a match. So, new meta.
We'll have to see. The thing that's really interesting, though, is that we've seen so many matches go through like this where the logistics frigates are effectively left until the end. The amount of DPS that you can actually put out in this format is enough that those frigates are effectively just there to extend your tank. And if you don't have good resistances, like these Bargas don't, you're going to struggle to survive, the 6,000-7,000 DPS that 3 battleships can put out.
It's definitely true, and if they had maybe played a little bit differently with the Bargists, or honestly, I think if the Sentinels had actually had some kind of weapon disruption module, they might have won this one. But the Sentinels kind of were just flying around. I'm trying to think of what New Eden Observatory could have done, and if they had fit the Sentinels slightly different and just thrown guidance disruptors on the Bargists, or not the Bargists, thrown guidance disruptors on the Rattlesnakes, or maybe even just gotten in and tried to nuke the Kirans out, then King Myth's Rattlesnake would have died, and they might have actually held here. But instead, he gets to live in 12% structure, and they're just kind of finishing off the Bifrost now. I don't know if they're just having a little bit of trouble taking him down. I wonder if that's a afterburning Bifrost, actually, because he's not slowing down that fast.
Yeah, that's just under 1,000 hit points left on that Rattlesnake's structure by my calculations.
Yeah, so yeah, that's basically 1 or 2 more volleys of rapid heavies. But Long GG actually beats New Eden Observatory, so we were all wrong except for Jintan. Which, I don't know how
taking
I
the
feel
switch
about that.
was a good choice. Yeah.
Well, you see, they banned the commentator's curse, so I couldn't curse them. This was just genius strategy here from Long GG's roaming team.